My husband's new friendship is making me uncomfortable. A few months ago, my husband Jay became friends with this girl S. He hangs out with her a decent amount of the time, once a week to every other week ish, which is decent given our work schedules. I have never met her, nor have I been invited to. It's been mentioned that she wants to meet me, however, plans are never made, and I'm not invited when he goes. He says he's also hanging out with her boyfriend, but again, I've never met these people. A few things that have really rubbed me the wrong way. He's been doing a lot for her and gave her our space heater, which I have no problem with him being helpful or kind, but it seems that he tries to resolve it whenever she has an issue. I asked about donating the Nintendo Switch that we literally never use and has sat in a drawer for years to a child in need. And he said no because he told S she could borrow it sometime. And he can't go back on his word that she could maybe borrow it sometime. However, he promised an incredibly close friend of mine that she could for sure have our old Xbox as a Christmas gift, and he's fine going back on that for me to donate that instead. Also, every single time we've gotten in a fight since he's met her, he stormed out of the house and run to her place. He does not return for hours and does not contact me at all while he's gone. I only know where he is because we have iPhones and I have his location. After making a huge deal about spending Christmas with me, he spent less than 2 hours with me and went to a party with her that I wasn't invited to and was gone all afternoon / night. I spoke to him about all of these points and said I was uncomfortable and he swore nothing was going on, but apparently turned right around and told her what we talked about because she's my friend, of course I told her. He has other female friends whom I adore and does none of this shit with them. So this is not just me hating other women or some dumb shit. Am I crazy for being uncomfortable? Especially considering he doesn't tell me what they talk about, but immediately turned around and told her about a private conversation he and I had. Last thing, I found out today she's single. Apparently she dumped her boyfriend last night. Guess who she came to first? I want to trust him, but I also don't want to be stupid and end up more upset / hurt. And worst case scenario, if something is going on, I sure as hell don't want an STD. That's her husband, bro. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you cracked the case.
I'm the kid of one of those traveling RV families online, and I hate them for it every day. My parents decided when I was only 7 years old, far too young to get an opinion on anything, to pack us up and move into an RV to travel around the US. My dad works online and my mom makes content online. She's not huge by any means, but big enough that we get recognized sometimes, and big enough that I've had a camera shoved in my face for as long as I can remember. For my privacy's sake, I won't say anything else on that, and I'm using a throwaway account because I've gotten enough attention already, and I'm sick of it. I sleep in a tiny bunk bed that I outgrew years ago, and the other bunk is the only space I have to put anything of my own. I don't even have a room, just a curtain, and thank God I'm an only child, or else I will have to share the small space I already have. I was homeschooled for most of my education and then switched to online school at my own insistence for high school. I'm an 18-year-old girl. I don't have a single friend in person because the longest I've ever stayed anywhere is a month. I don't have a job and no way to get one because of not being stationary unless I find one online, which also means I have no way to move out and get away from them. I've had conversations with them about all of this countless of times, and they are so delusional and genuinely believe that a nomadic existence is the best way to live. So why would I ever need anything else? I hate them for treating me like some pet they can just drag along in their plans rather than their child. I hate traveling, I don't like the heat, I hate dealing with bugs, and I'm so sick of hiking. I can't wait for the day that I finally figure out a way to get away from them with their morning hikes and cameras in my face. I've traveled around the US, yeah, but God forbid I want to have a normal life, go to college, or maybe even make some friends. That's asking too much.
Wow. Oh, this.
In the comments, I can't even imagine how lonely that must be. Do you have any other family you can go stay with? He replies, not that I know of, unfortunately. Currently, my plan is to try to figure out how to make some sort of income online and save up so I can get an apartment and I'm talking with someone I've known online for a long time about maybe being roommates to help with costs for both of us. So there's an update that was posted 9 days later. Hello, barely over a week ago, I made a post talking about my very negative experience living in an RV with my parents for around 10 years now. Despite it being such a short time since I posted it, a lot has changed for me since then. I don't know how many people here would be interested in an update on my situation, but I know quite a few people were very concerned and would probably appreciate an update, so here it is. Also, fair warning, this is a fairly lengthy post. I have a tendency to ramble, so there is sort of a TLDR at the end. I had a lot of people give me really helpful advice, resources, as well as even offers to try to help personally, some being questionable admittedly, but majority being genuinely concerned, wanting to try to help, and I very much appreciate that. It was slightly overwhelming to be honest, and I ended up not responding to a lot of people, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But even if I didn't respond much, I have been doing research on a lot of the information people gave me. Something that stood out to me was people asking if I had any family I could stay with, to which I had to respond, not that I know of, because I don't know anyone on my dad's side of the family, and my mom has strictly no contact with her family. I did not know if they were alive, if they cut her off, if she cut them off, or even any details about them, and my mom had never wanted to talk about it. One information I did have was my mom's maiden name, which is pretty uncommon, and where she was born, which in terms of trying to find family can actually get you surprisingly far, I've come to realize. I've always had a slight hatred for the internet because I've never had any choice in my life being public knowledge, and I know that once something is out there, then it's out there. But for the first time, I'm actually really grateful for the internet. I was able to find some information on my mother's side of the family, and specifically was able to find my grandma's Facebook account, though it did take me some effort. After a lot of stressing on how to approach messaging her, if I even should, as well as potential outcomes, I messaged her explaining my mom's life, who I was, and my situation. I won't go into details onto why my grandmother and my mom are no contact, because that is not my story to share. But my grandma was appalled that she had a granddaughter she didn't even know about, and even more so, the way in which her daughter raised me. I found out I have an aunt and an uncle, both of which my grandma told them about me and my situation. I've been in pretty much constant contact with all of them since just learning about each other. All of them want to help me get out of this living situation with my parents, and luckily with me being 18 now, it's actually possible. Again, I don't feel entirely comfortable going into details, but I have arrangements to go stay with my aunt who lives in a big city on the West Coast that had a lot of potential opportunities for me to start college or whatever I see fit, which I do plan on figuring out college, happy to announce. My uncle has kids, but my aunt lives on her own and has a spare bedroom which she has no problem letting me stay in for as long as necessary. I have a train ticket scheduled and purchased by my aunt and enough money to get to the station. I'm talking with my family currently and trying to plan out the details, like how or if I'm going to tell my parents. My mom doesn't know any information on where any of her family lives, so even if I were to tell my parents who I was going to live with, they wouldn't know where I was specifically. Someone pointed out that if I did leave without telling them, I should leave a note or some form of proof that I left willingly, so if I do opt out of a conversation, I'm planning on either leaving a note or filming a video explaining my plans and why I'm leaving, which would be kind of ironic, wouldn't it? Regarding my mother filming, I've been very quiet around my parents and just refusing to talk when the camera is on, but neither one of them has mentioned it so far, luckily. Also, speaking of my mother's content, I would like to very much emphasize something quickly. Almost everyone was genuinely trying to help, but I had a few people replying trying to guess who I was. Luckily, the few I saw were basically torn to shreds and ended up deleting their comments. I also had a few people who messaged me privately trying to make a guess at who I am, which at least that's not public, I guess. Although I can understand being curious, I posted anonymously with very little personal information for a reason. As I stated in my previous post, I've gotten enough attention and I'm very much sick of it. I would very much appreciate if you guys can respect that. Even if you think you might know who I am, please, please, please don't make public guesses and understand that I don't want this to be even more public information tied to my name. Very long story short, I have set plans to leave as well as a safe place to go with my aunt and very much appreciate so many people being willing to help. If you had told me not even 2 weeks ago that I would not only have planned to move away from my parents, but also contact my family members I didn't even know existed, I don't think I would have believed that. I'm currently not planning on making another post updating this, but wanting to let everyone know who is concerned about me to not worry. Genuinely, thank you.
Um, I'm actually very worried.
There's a comment that says, "Be careful, you don't really know your mom's family. I know it seems like an out, just be careful."
Yeah.
OP replies, "I absolutely will be. Why my mom isn't in contact with them makes total sense and none of it was their fault. Plus, they were able to send me evidence of that. But despite that, I definitely don't know them personally yet. My train out isn't scheduled immediately or anything, and I'm planning to continue talking with them until then, but they do seem to be genuinely concerned and trustworthy. Plus, my aunt, who I'll be staying with, seems super nice, and we have already figured out that we have certain things in common." Okay, final update. Hello, it's been a while, and I wanted to check in on here to hopefully give a few people some peace of mind. In my last update, I explained that I had gotten in contact with my mother's side of the family and had a place to go stay. I can proudly announce that I did it, and I'm in a safe place now, totally away from my parents with absolutely zero contact. My aunt is an absolute angel, truly. She's so kind, and that's not even including my grandma and uncle. When I first got here, my aunt, as well as my grandma, took me out on a little shopping spree, bought me clothes, decor, and furniture for my room, because I have one of those now, and honestly anything they thought that I would need. My uncle has introduced me to my cousins. He has a younger son and a daughter who's very close in age to me, and I would say that we have become friends. I've been able to go out to do a lot of fun things with her. My aunt is currently helping me research colleges near us, but has reassured me I can do anything on my own pace and there really is no rush, that her home will always have a spot for me. My aunt, in general, is such a cool person. She's someone I very quickly have started to look up to and have gotten close to. The more time we spend together, the more we learn that we actually have a lot in common. I'm just so grateful to all of them for being here and being so supportive. My aunt is also really helping me figure out who I am as an individual. For the first time, I'm in charge of my identity, what I share, and who I share it with. I dyed and cut my hair, got a nickname, and have been exclusively going by it. My cousin is currently on a journey to help me learn about what makeup I like. She's also introducing me to her favorite music groups as a self-proclaimed cringe but free K-pop fan. I have an entirely private Instagram account with all of 5 followers, and I plan on keeping it that way. I just feel like a normal teenage girl for once, and I've never felt happier.
My husband made me cry on Valentine's Day. Yesterday, Valentine's Day, was my husband's 27th birthday. We did some very low-key things because we're financially recovering from a big move. I made him a huge, delicious breakfast. We went out to a few shops and messed around and spent a little birthday money that he got. And then got a snack and some slushies from a local gas station. Then he had to go back to work, so I drove him. While I waited for him to get off, I made him a cake to surprise him with when he got home. Our little family sang happy birthday and we had a cake. It turned out pretty good too. After cake, we were sitting in the kitchen and he looked like he was thinking. I asked him if he had a good birthday. He looked at me with a huge smile that I haven't gotten to see in a while. This is the best birthday I've had in a long time. I honestly teared up. I had to go into the bathroom a little while later to stop myself. The more I thought about it, the happier it made me. I often worry if I'm doing enough as a wife because he takes such good care of me, and it really cemented it. He's had a rough life, and we together have had such a rough time in the last year. It made me so happy to see him like that. Update. Wow, I didn't expect this post to get so much love and attention. Thank you to everyone who left a nice story or sentiment. You guys made me smile so much. My husband has seen the post and left a really sweet message in the comments. Thanks again, everyone. So I looked in the comments and the husband's message was, "My wife is truly an inspiration. She keeps me going. She's my anchor, my driver, my life, my love. She asks a lot of me, but it's fine because she's had a rough upbringing and deserves everything and anything she asks for. And I try my hardest to do what she needs. And for her to go just as above and beyond shows me how much she cares and how much love she has in her heart. She's brilliant. Starshine. I love you, Bubby." And OP said, "Here he is, making me cry again. I love you, sweetness."
Oh, that's nice.
Cute one. The title was really like,
Yeah, I thought it was going to
it's going to be a You have to
Yeah.
put something sweet in there, guys. You know.
No, it is true. But I was
It's
really listening. I was
true,
like,
it's true.
okay, where's
Where's
the
that coming?
title?
And the comments were like that. They were like, "Don't scare us with such a title again."
Yeah, I thought we did
I thought it was
something
quite
bad.
sweet.
Nah,
I do want to
that's
know
lovely.
what you do. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
nice.
Aw.
We don't have any comments. It's just nice, isn't it?
No, it was, do you know what? It's just really nice to be seen for who you are.